welcome to the Journey Success Stories Series podcast. I'm Jennifer Shuffle, your host, and today I have with me Kerry Murray, and she is with Spot On Productions. She is our Vice President, Sales and Client Services representative there at Spot On Productions. So today we will be talking to her about her journey, especially in business ownership, challenges, best practices, and we will also share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. So if this is your first time to the channel, like and subscribe because we want you to get notifications when a new show or conversation drops, just like this one. So Kerry, welcome to the show and thank you for being here today. I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, and what got you into this business and who you are.
Well, I'm originally from Valparaiso, Indiana. I went to Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, because I wanted to get a degree in advertising. My father had been in advertising back in the Mad Men days, which I go back and look at, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that's why I wanted to do it. But anyway, so I wanted a degree in advertising, so I chose Drake. University of Florida also, or University of Hawaii also gave degrees, but my parents were like, yeah, that's not happening. And I'm one of the few people that is still using my degree today, doing what in a lot of ways I went to school for. Broadcast was kind of a minor of mine. And right out of, I internship and then had an internship and then got a job at Young Rubicam, which at the time was the largest ad agency in the United States. So did that for quite a while, then got into radio, did a lot sales management with radio and some production and voiceover work, but primarily sales and sales management. And that's what I was doing when we made the move to the Cincinnati area / Dayton, because my husband was hired at NCR to run their worldwide multimedia department. So he coincidentally was also at the agency. So we worked together on several projects and then made the move here. And it was a great move. I love it. I love it here.
So whose idea was it to birth Spot On Productions?
Well, it was one of those necessities. He was outsourced. The whole department was outsourced from, it was NCR, then AT&T, and then back to NCR, and they outsourced the whole multimedia department. So the decision was, do we look at moving somewhere else? Or do we stay here? My kids loved it here. We all loved it, and decided to hang out the shingle and start what at that time was Murray Multimedia Resources. And legally it still is. We're just DBA as Spot On Productions.
Oh, that's great. So now how many kiddos do you have?
2 sons.
Okay.
And my son is in the business. He's our president, as a matter of fact. Pretty much grew up in the industry, was involved from early on, had a job. His job in high school was working at Westchester Community Television and doing shows there. So, it just it's come natural.
Yeah.
He's been involved in the business since part-time since like 2006 or 7, and then came on full-time later on and became president, actually. And we rebranded from the Murray Multimedia Resources into Spot On Productions in 14 and into 15, and named him president as part of the succession plan for the business.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So I know that things get bumpy along the way. It's always interesting to have these conversations with people just to hear their journeys.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to think about, okay, we're creating this business because everything's getting outsourced and now we're going to work together. What was that transition like?
It was actually fairly easy because we had worked together at the ad agency, Mike and I had, so we knew we could work together. We were a good complement for each other's talents. So I think the biggest thing was just taking that leap of faith. I actually was at the Westchester Liberty Chamber Alliance as their marketing VP of marketing and membership, and then I also ran their community leadership program at the time that this all happened. So initially, when we started the business, I was kind of working the business, but in the background.
Nice.
Came on full time, but it wasn't difficult. We knew we could work together. We knew we were good at what we wanted to, at just doing it for ourselves instead of somebody else, basically. And you have to remember, this was at a time we're 27 years old, businesses. So, it was at a time when digital was just really starting to come up. So that's,
Yeah. It's probably what AI is like to us today,
yeah,
27 years ago. So how many employees do you now have?
7. We have 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And what area do you like, what region do you span? Because you guys have a nice span that you guys do.
We do. Our core business is really, let's call it the Cincinnati-Dayton corridor. So business from Dayton through Cincinnati to northern Kentucky is where the majority of our clients are. We, however, for those clients, have traveled worldwide. We've been on location in China, in Ethiopia, in Europe, and all over the United States for clients who, for some reason or another, need us at one of their locations.
Right. Oh, that's
Where
great.
Mike's experience came in fabulous with the NCR AT&T piece, because he had that experience of shooting and producing worldwide. So that was a nice little factor. Although being in sales and not being on the production part, I never got to go on any of those really cool trips.
You're like, let's just be fair. He got all the glory, and here I am, still wanting to go to some of these really cool places that he got to endure. I think we need to make sure that happens, Kerry.
Oh, it has.
Good, good.
But just on a casual, vacation level instead of a working level. So,
Which is always better anyway. So what has been your favorite vacation that you guys have taken?
oh wow, we've taken a lot of great vacations. About 8. Actually, it's been about 2 years exactly. We did southern Italy and Greece, and that was fabulous.
Oh, that sounds
I love history, so that was great, and I love food, so we great dining and a lot of history, and
yeah, a very big win-win there for sure.
I gotta tell you, I love the people of Greece. They are happy, they are content with what they have, and are able to see just pluses and everything. They're just very happy, very content.
I've heard that from multiple people who have traveled there. Yeah, it's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
So
It's beautiful too. The people are
I've
beautiful.
heard it. Gorgeous.
Scenery is beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So if we vamp into the future, 5 years from now,
Mhm.
where do you see the business? What does your position look like? What would you love to see happen for the business?
Well, in terms of the business plan, 5 years from now, we're looking at having doubled in revenue, keeping the margins where they need to be,
Excellent.
and probably looking more at a staff of 10 to 12 to manage that extra business, and really growing the business through also growing and working with larger clients, larger projects for those clients, growing in our capabilities, which is what we've been doing. So that's from that standpoint, that's where the vision is. From my standpoint, I will be at that point, we'll be out of the business.
Yay!
So that's the plan we're working on right now. We are active members with the Gehring Center, which is part of the
Yes.
Linder School of Business at UC. And I would recommend that to any family or closely held private business, because that's who they serve. And their wealth of information and institutes and programs that help like-minded entrepreneurs slash second, third generation companies, as well as those private. And we went through their NGI, their Next Generation Institute. And it was definitely an eye opener. I mean, I think some G1s think that they're just going to come in someday and throw the keys to the business on the desk of one of the G2s, and it's like, hey, it's all yours now.
Yes.
We knew that wasn't the case. On the other hand, there's a lot more that goes into successfully doing that transition. So that was a great program
Yes.
for us. And
Yeah.
Ian is that succession plan. So
That's so beautiful. Yeah, transitions are one of those things where you got to plan it out. And as business and executive coaches, those are the things that we really excel in and ensure that people get to the right spot and where they need to be. So, and it's not an easy process. A lot of times there's a lot of ahas or things you didn't ever think about
yes.
that comes out in the process, but that's why you go through it. Because you do want to make sure that the business is set up for success, as well as Ian, because you don't want something to happen after you've been put 27 years into it. Absolutely. So what
I was gonna say, the one thing that kind of slowed us down was partway through here, COVID. And so
yes.
us back to reality. We, wound up being very lean and mean during that period of time. Went down to about
Ooh, okay.
at one time 4 or 5 employees, and then started working more with contractors as we could. And then obviously with something like that, you shift to serve clients and what they need. So we started doing more production inside in a studio instead of on location, because that, we couldn't go into the businesses, but we could bring the business people into a studio and use green screen or backdrop or whatever we needed to still convey. And from a marketing standpoint, if the market share goes down, but you increase your market share, then you can actually survive and do quite nicely during those kind of periods. So it's important that people keep that marketing piece in perspective anytime that there's some of those hiccups. So we just thought, what our clients need, we'll serve them best here, and so that's what we did. But that kind of slowed down the succession process there for a couple of years.
But it does sound it was the right decision, and it has set you up for additional success because you
Absolutely.
did pivot.
Yeah.
So that's phenomenal. So, what do you think is maybe the number one challenge that's holding you back in obtaining doubling revenues, keeping the margins, and all the things of for that 5-year plan?
I would say personnel, making sure that we get the right people in the right seats. We are also an EOS company, Entrepreneurs Operating
Yeah.
System. Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that is, again, making sure that it's that not the people that we have and what their role is, but what does the company need, and within that position, then making sure we have the right person. And it's more of an accountability chart.
Mhm.
Then so it's as we grow, making sure that we understand who we need at what time to grow and getting the right person in there. Right now, we're interviewing for a sales account executive. Ian and I right now do the sales, and other things as well. So our growth really we need to get somebody in here that's pretty much dedicated to sales, both a hunter and a farmer, which is kind of a unicorn position,
Yeah.
because we have accounts that can go deeper and wider. We have found also a blessing from COVID is more need for video as a solution provider within HR. So it's not just marketing anymore, but a lot of it is safety and onboarding and attracting, hiring, and retaining top talent. And video is fabulous at being able to do that. So that's
Absolutely.
stretched our market in terms of where we can take
Yes.
where we can be a solutions provider for our clients.
Right. Um, a lot of training programs have different modules. And as you're onboarding and introducing people to the culture and making sure that they understand the do's and don'ts,
Mhm.
that video is absolutely phenomenal because I'm sure you've heard of VAC. It
Mhm.
goes across all modalities of VAC. So your visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Video is definitely the way of the future, hands down, because you want to make sure that you're speaking to everyone at all times. So,
Exactly.
yes, there's a huge need. I love that you highlighted the HR piece.
Yeah. And so within that salesperson, just finding the right person that
Yeah.
knows they aren't selling a commodity or a widget that somebody that understands, they don't have to know how to do video, but they have to understand what video can do for our clients in terms of being that solution provider, making sure that we understand their goals for what the video is to do for them, for their business,
Yes.
and
Yes.
making sure that that's what the video does at the end. I mean, cinematography, from a beautiful standpoint, from an editing standpoint on great video, there are a lot of great companies. One of our differences is, yes, we provide a great looking video, but we make sure that video, that there's purpose is answered, and we inspire whoever's watching to do what our customer, our client wanted
Yeah.
to have happen. And
Yeah.
that's why, we say our purpose is to show the world your best, whatever that best part is in terms of best place to work, best practices, best builder, whatever. And then our niche is the fact that we create bespoke video that inspires. We're not a cookie cutter. Everybody that comes in here gets the creative and the whole outside of how do we provide a solution? How do we give you an answer? How do we have a video that talks to your audience, your niche for that specific thing? So, and the bespoke is nice because it shows that it's different, that we're different for everybody.
Yeah. I love that so much. So, what has been your favorite project? Like when you think, oh, I'm so proud of this one, what would it be? And tell us about it.
For me, I guess it would be a couple of them that we've done that have been really more consumer driven, although we're primarily B2B, but just opportunities to really show our creativity and do something a little bit different. We did a project for Big Brothers Big Sisters a few years ago. It was their 50th anniversary. They wanted 50 bigs in 50 days because they have such a
Oh,
backlog of kids that need Big Brothers Big Sisters. And we went and told the story of one young man and his big brother. And the point being, you don't have to be special. It doesn't cost you a lot of money. It's all about spending time and building a relationship where that trust factor is there. And we were able to convey that in the video. And they got, I think, 72 bigs that I know. Is that great?
oh, I love that. That's
And
great.
that project was done for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Butler County, but Big Brothers Big Sisters showed it at their annual conference.
Ah,
which was
yes.
fabulous. So that was one of the projects that sticks out to me in terms of answering, um, giving them return on their investment in terms of what they needed, but we were able to get very creative with it. We've done a couple other ones, like we did a project a few years ago for a company that made product for Better Homes and Better Homes and Gardens slash Better Homes and Gardens product that went into Walmart. So we had really three layers of client there in terms of approvals and getting things done, because it needed to be for the product itself and then through what they were doing with Better Homes and Gardens and on sale at Walmart. But we got to work in a brand new home. A lot of times you go in, you look at location scouting and figuring out where you're going to shoot
Right.
things. And it was eye candy. I loved it. It's a beautiful home and beautiful products, and really fun to do.
Was Mike worried, like, oh no, what's she gonna want us to do with the house now?
No, I don't think he was worried about it. I don't think so. But he did give you some good ideas. I will say that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, my husband hates when I watch HGTV because he's like, oh no, no, what project are we going to be doing? That's great. I love that you had that kind of ROI and having 3 layers of clients. That's a lot. That's a lot of demand. So
Yeah.
kudos to you guys for being successful in that project
Yeah.
because that's a
Thank you.
lot of bosses.
Thank you. It is.
So,
And it's that process ahead of time where
mm,
we go in knowing what the client wants, and we make sure that we get all the brand standards and everything, so we know colors and what needs to be done. Font, everything from the font to how much leeway do we have on creative, or how it's, making sure that we have that design factor and how it look and feel it's going to come across. So once you get
yeah,
that buttoned up to begin with, then the rest of it's pretty much the approval, making sure that you're executing on that vision.
yeah. The attention to detail
Mm-hmm.
is just astronomical when you're dealing with that, for sure.
It
Yes.
is. It is. A lot of people say, why do you put so much time into pre-production? Well, because when we get that camera and those lights out, and especially if we've paid talent to be there, or if your people are there, the customer clients people are there, um, they need to know exactly what their role is going to be. They need to be comfortable with what we're doing, and we also can't be second guessing where we're shooting a scene or whatever. It saves everybody time, money, because you go and you get what you need to get, right? And
Yes.
again, back to that knowing what the final product is going to look like. It's important.
Yeah. 80% of the success is in the planning, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a make and break. So, some rapid fire questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, you're going to be fabulous. Stop. So, what is the key to success for you?
loving what you do every day, and if you do, then you'll be good at it. And excellence, I shouldn't say good, because excellence is one of our core values. So good is not good enough. So, but I'm a firm believer in, you got to love what you're doing. Get up every morning, be passionate about what you're doing, and success should follow with some leadership in there. A little bit of that in. But
Yes, absolutely. So, what is your one piece of advice that you would give to other fellow business owners?
surround yourself with good advisors. I mean, I think everything from, I mean, I always tell you, have a good attorney, have a good accountant. But I think going further in terms of having people that are maybe in a mentor role, but not necessarily in a mentor role, but people that you can build those advisors around you and don't think that you ever have all the answers.
That is so true. Absolutely. Well said. So, what is a book that you're reading right now?
I'm reading the Bible in 24 hours, which doesn't mean I'm going to sit down and read for 24 hours. It's simply put together so that there's about an hour worth of reading for each section, and it covers the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Uh, it's great. I like it. It was written by a scientist, a physics, either I'm not sure teacher or at least somebody that was in the physics role. But so a lot of different things in there, like time continuum and just things that I hated science at school. I was the history and the literature and all that stuff, but just real different ways of looking at the history of the Bible and really making it pretty, being able to look at it factually. And for scientists to do that is pretty cool. But also just different perspective on looking at some things, biblically accurate, I believe, but still a nice, unique look. And how many things do we learn um, about leading our lives the right way? I mean, there's some racy stories in the Bible. There's a lot of people doing bad things, wrong things,
Mhm.
and you learn about consequences and outcomes and how to live your life and do it well and be successful. So, yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with your also your definition of success, because it's not necessarily always money.
Yes. Oh,
It's
well,
all the other
yes.
things that are so important.
Yes. 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 I mean, I'm a mother of two as well. And watching them grow up into the young adults that they are, I mean, the definition of success that I have today is way different than what it would have been 20 years ago for sure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it changes over time. And what you read, people that you talk to and hang out with, and I mean, it all changes. It's really cool to see when you start looking back and think, wow, that's phenomenal where we were and where we came.
Mhm,
So, yeah.
mhm. Yeah.
So here's a fun question for you.
All right.
So if you had a little bit of magic dust that you could sprinkle on any area in the business, what would it be?
Wow. Magic dust, it could do anything.
Yep. Sure.
Um, I think again, making sure that we always, I'm not sure this is magic dust though, but just that sprinkle the integrity, the doing the right thing for the right reason and getting right now we're in this hiring thing. We just hired someone who became our seventh employee, which we desperately needed in the production arena. And I know he will be fabulous. Was an intern with us last summer. Uh, but just knowing that we can continue to do good work here and provide good income and just help our people grow, I think would be the dust of just a cohesive team and success for everybody, not just the company.
Yes. Yes, yes. Well, and the people living the culture and values lifts up the business. And especially if they're doing it for all the right reasons and not get egos or things in the way, it just lifts everyone, the whole team, the business, everything. And then you can even give more to the community, or I mean, it's a very phenomenal thing. That's why I went into business and executive coaching. I love our community. I want us all to thrive and get to a whole nother level that maybe we never thought was even possible. So definitely love that.
Yeah, and that really, I think, develops into or is responsible for our core values, which I mentioned excellence, but it's also people, pride and ownership, not only from the ownership standpoint, but for people here who want to take pride in what they do, take pride in who they are and what they're creating, and feel like they are such a part of it that there is that ownership piece. And that really ties into our next core value, which is entrepreneurial spirit.
Mm, yeah.
Um, and then positive impact, which goes back to the, we want to have positive impact on our clients, our employees, our team, and also the community. So,
Yes. So tell me more, because I'm intrigued about entrepreneurial spirit. I think this is something that people overlook, the complexities of being an entrepreneur and what it takes.
mm.
So I know that we've dabbled on this a little bit, talking about your journey, but tell me more. What does this really mean to you, the business, just everything?
To me, entrepreneurial spirit, or to us, entrepreneurial spirit is that people feel a part um, of the business and what we do, and that as they make decisions, because when you're out on a set or on location, there's two things that come up. Our people have to make quick decisions, and as long as they make them knowing what our core values are and what our culture is, then they can act as the head of the company, in making those decisions, and have that spirit to almost feel like it's, well, they are an important part of the business, but I almost feel like it's their business.
Absolutely. Well, and you can't be everywhere at the same time. So giving them that freedom and the liberty really pushes them forward to excelling as well,
Hmm.
because they just made a decision based off all the facts that they had at the time and ran with it. So empowering our people to do more
Hmm.
is a very beautiful thing for not only that person, but for the business as well.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So, one last question.
Okay.
What is inspiring you right now?
What does inspire me right now? I think just the vision of where we're going as a company, and also the fact that we're looking on the succession plan. I'm inspired by Ian's success and moving forward, and being able to enjoy myself a little bit more as I back off. Mike and I both back off a little bit from the day to day. I'm inspired about what we can be moving forward, even though I might not be as much a part of it. That still inspires me.
Yes, yes. The future is a very beautiful thing, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, this was a fabulous conversation.
Oh,
Carrie, thank you so much for the time today and taking the time out of your busy schedule. I greatly appreciate you and doing that. I really enjoyed hearing your story and your journey in the
thank
business
you.
ownership and what got you there. So
It was
thank you
fun.
for sharing.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Good. I'm
You're
happy you
very,
enjoyed it.
you're very easy to talk to.
Well, thank you. So I encourage everyone who's watching, definitely like and subscribe so you can get notifications when we have a new conversation just as fabulous as this one. Maybe not as fabulous because this is with Carrie. So when they drop, you guys can get notifications and save this one because she had some really great nuggets that we need to make sure that we're following and even thinking about as business owners as well.
Okay.
So thank you again, Carrie. I can't thank you enough. So to all of you who joined us today, Carrie, how can they get a hold of you in the future if they have production needs themselves?
Very easily. Our website is spot on, capital SPOT, and then capital ON. That's all together, one word, spot on, dot productions. And there's no .com, no nothing. So it's just spot on dot productions. And I'm easy to find because I am Kerry, Kerry, at spot on dot productions. My
That's
light just turned off.
I saw that.
Must be time to go, Jennifer.
It's telling us something. So, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And a special thank you to Kerry Murray and being with Spot On Productions. And you guys have a fabulous day. Thank you.
Thank you too. Bye.